When it comes to the universal donor, O-negative blood, this is what they've got. Empty, empty, empty. That's a problem if you need this blood in an emergency. I'm Peggy Pico at the Discovery Science Center in Santa Ana. Coming up, I'll give you a real hands-on look at their newest exhibits. Once the proper size is determined, the septal occluder is inserted through the hole in Brett's heart. It's popped into place and works sort of like a permanent cufflink to button up that hole. How old are you? ¿Qué edad tiene?
5.
She's 5 years old, just like the rest of the students trying to get in here. You've heard of test driving a car, but how about test driving breast implants before you buy? I'm Peggy Pico with more on that story coming up. The prospect of war is making tough times even tougher for Fort Worth-based American Airlines. Soaring fuel prices are forcing the airline to make some hard decisions to control cost. CBS 11's aviation reporter Jim Walker joins us live from DFW with a look at how it's going to impact passengers. Jim? Not only does this machine take three-dimensional pictures, but it's up to 10 times faster than a traditional CAT scan. How fast? It's scanning my entire body in just 26 seconds. It's hard to imagine that anyone could walk away from this crash, but if you take a look behind me, police reports say that some of the survivors actually crawled out of the smashed windows while others were thrown out and even some were rescued with the jaws of life. However, the survivors escaped. Within 20 minutes, some of the injured were already on their way to local hospitals. Within minutes of the derailment, more than 35 paramedic units, firefighters, and rescue crews were pulling the injured out of the mangled trains. Meanwhile, 15 area hospitals were told to expect nearly 200 injured passengers.
Trauma is a big part of our training, but certainly from the staff standpoint, since this is not something we see on a regular basis, all of the departments came together, from nursing, ancillary staff, radiology, and really everybody mobilized and allowed us to really take care of these patients pretty quickly and pretty efficiently.
Even though Glendale Memorial Hospital is not a trauma center, hospital officials say that 70 employees and 25 doctors were here in the emergency room within 20 minutes of the accident.
There were a lot of bumps and bruises and minor lacerations that needed to be sutured. We did have some fractures, broken bones. We had a couple severe injuries, a head injury, and then a woman with a neck injury, which is fairly severe as well.
Now, Glendale Memorial Hospital, less than a mile away from the wreck, got 13 patients, 2 critical. Another 180 patients that were hurt were dispersed to UCLA and other trauma centers. Donations for blood were immediately needed.
Especially a lot of these patients that have fractures, there is a big blood loss associated with them, and even if they don't need surgery, we still need to transfuse patients in order to replenish their blood volume.
The American Red Cross is asking for blood donations even in San Diego, but is now offering other relief assistance as well.
We have disaster mental health workers helping out those people as well as the loved ones of those that have perished.
Now, a total of 193 people have been reported as hurt. That's the latest number. 60 have already been released from the hospitals. 10 passengers have died. Quick response from paramedics and firefighters is being credited for the high survival rate. And coming up at 6 o'clock, I will take you to the scene of the accidents just a moment after it happened and talk to paramedics who say all the disaster training that they've done in the past few months has paid off. Live from Glendale, I'm Peggy Pico reporting. Back to you in the studio, Ann.
Peggy Pico is at the Oceanside City Hall with the story. Peggy?
Well, that's right, Susan. It's going to cost a lot of money now. Health and fire officials here at City Hall in Oceanside say they have tried for years to get Veronica Campo to clean out the junk and the rats inside of her house.
I'm throwing everything out, and they're not giving me enough time.
And it looks like it's going to take a lot more time to clean this house up.
27 years living in here. I was a collector of antiques.
But over the past 27 years of living in her 2-bedroom Oceanside home, 63-year-old Veronica Campo and her son Ronaldo have collected so much stuff, health and fire inspectors say it's become a safety hazard to the Campos and their neighbors.
Fire safety issues as far as exiting the dwelling, as for the occupants of the dwelling. And then we also have, a rat harborage problem by the junk accumulation.
This is the kitchen, and this is why she's saying it's going to take a little bit of time, more than they have, to clean this up. Obviously, some things have been collected here over many, many years. And
I want this cleaned up, but I don't want...
But code enforcement agents say over the past few years, they've offered to bring Veronica giant trash bins and rat exterminators.
Abatement's the last option that we have. We've actually tried to provide them the large roll-off bins through waste management if we can, and they can pay the city back on a payment basis.
Veronica faces a daunting task. She has only until July 20th to clean out all of this stuff.
And I'm going to lose the house, not just an abatement of my junk inside.
Now, the city estimates the cost of cleaning up Veronica's house at $7,000. That's money that Veronica, a security guard, says she can't afford, nor can her son, who delivers papers. Reporting live from Oceanside City Hall, Peggy Pico, NBC 739.